Chapter 1. The power of thinking big starts inside the mind. Every person has thoughts every day. Some thoughts are small. Some thoughts are big. Small thinking keeps a person in the same place. Big thinking helps a person move forward. Many people do not think big because they are afraid. They fear failure. They fear what others will say. They fear change. This fear makes their world small. Okay. But when a person learns to think big, their world slowly becomes larger. Thinking big does not mean becoming proud. It does not mean dreaming without work. It means believing that life can be better than it is now. Cone. It means trusting that you can grow step by step. A big thinker does not say, "This is enough for me." A big thinker says, "I can do more." This one sentence can change a life. When you think big, your mind starts looking for new paths. You stop seeing limits everywhere. You begin to see chances. Thinking big begins with belief. If you do not believe in yourself, it is hard to move forward. Many people wait for others to believe in them first. This is a mistake. Big thinkers believe in themselves even when no one else does. This belief is quiet. It is not loud. It grows slowly with effort. A person who thinks big understands that learning never ends. They are not ashamed of mistakes. They know mistakes are teachers. Every mistake gives a lesson. This lesson makes the mind stronger. When the mind becomes strong, life becomes easier to handle. Big thinking also teaches patience. Big goals need time. They do not happen in one day. A person who thinks big is ready to wait and work. Most people live with small goals because they copy others. They follow the crowd. They do what feels safe. But safe thinking often leads to regret. Big thinking asks you to ask questions. It asks, what do I really want? It asks, what kind of person do I want to become? These questions are important. They help you understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you can choose a better direction. Big thinking gives direction to life. Without direction, effort is wasted. With direction, even small effort becomes powerful. Thinking big also changes how a person sees problems. Small thinkers see problems as walls. Big thinkers see problems as lessons. When a problem comes, a big thinker stays calm. They do not panic. They think. They plan. They try again. This calm attitude saves energy. It keeps the mind clear. Over time, this habit builds confidence. Confidence is not loud. It is silent strength. It comes from facing difficulty again and again. Big thinking prepares a person for hard times before they arrive. Another important part of thinking big is vision. Vision means seeing the future in your mind. A big thinker often imagines a better life. They imagine success. They imagine peace. This imagination is not useless. It trains the brain. the brain starts working toward that picture. Actions slowly change, habits slowly improve, even daily routines become meaningful. When you have a vision, you wake up with purpose. You do not feel lost. Even simple work feels important. Vision gives hope. Hope keeps the heart alive. Thinking big also affects how a person talks to themselves. Many people speak harsh words inside their minds. They say they are weak. They say they cannot succeed. These words slowly damage confidence. Big thinkers change this habit. They choose kind and strong words. They say, I am learning. They say, I will improve. These words build courage. The mind listens carefully. What you repeat becomes your truth. Big thinking teaches you to protect your thoughts. It teaches you to avoid negative talk. This protection is powerful. In daily life, thinking big helps a person make better choices. A big thinker values time. They do not waste it easily. They choose useful activities. They try to learn something new every day. They listen more and complain less. They understand that success is built slowly. This understanding gives peace. There is no rush. There is no jealousy. A big thinker focuses on their own journey. They do not compare their life with others. Comparison creates sadness. Big thinking creates satisfaction. The power of thinking big is not about becoming famous or rich. It is about becoming better than yesterday. It is about growth. It is about living with purpose. When a person starts thinking big, life begins to change from the inside. This inner change later appears outside. Opportunities come. People notice. But even if no one notices, the big thinker continues. Because their strength comes from within. This is where real power begins. Chapter 2. Thinking big becomes stronger when a person understands their own value. Many people live their lives feeling small inside. They think their voice does not matter. They think their ideas are not important. This belief slowly weakens them. Big thinking begins when a person realizes that every human has value. Your background does not decide your future. Your past does not control your tomorrow. A big thinker understands this truth. They stop judging themselves by their failures. They stop living in old mistakes. Instead, they focus on growth. They ask themselves what they can learn today. This simple question creates movement. Learning keeps the mind active. An active mind does not stay stuck. It looks for improvement. Thinking big also teaches responsibility. Small thinkers blame others. They blame situations. They blame luck. Big thinkers look at themselves first. They ask what they can change. This habit gives power. When you take responsibility, you gain control. Control brings confidence. Confidence leads to action. Action creates results. This chain begins with thinking big. A big thinker does not wait for perfect conditions. They know conditions are never perfect. They start with what they have. They use limited resources wisely. This mindset builds creativity. Creativity helps solve problems. Another important part of thinking big is discipline. Big dreams without discipline stay dreams. A big thinker understands this. They build small routines. They wake up on time. They plan their day. They give time to learning and improvement. These habits may look simple, but they create strong results over time. Discipline keeps a person steady. It helps them stay focused when motivation is low. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Big thinking respects this truth. It teaches patience and consistency. Thinking big also changes how a person reacts to criticism. Small thinkers feel hurt easily. They take every word personally. Big thinkers listen calmly. They separate useful advice from noise. They do not let negative opinions stop them. They understand that not everyone will support their journey. This understanding brings emotional strength. Emotional strength helps a person stay balanced. It protects peace of mind. A big thinker values inner peace more than approval. As thinking grows, fear slowly loses its power. Fear never fully disappears, but it becomes manageable. A big thinker learns to act even when afraid. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. Each brave step builds confidence. Each challenge faced becomes proof of strength. Over time, the person trusts themselves more. This trust is powerful. It allows them to take bigger steps. Thinking big also improves communication. A big thinker speaks with clarity. They listen with respect. They choose words carefully. They avoid negative talk. This positive communication improves relationships. People feel comfortable around big thinkers. They feel inspired. This connection creates opportunities. Opportunities often come through people. Big thinking understands the value of relationships. It teaches kindness and patience. A person who thinks big also learns to manage time. Time is limited. Big thinkers respect it. They avoid useless activities. They focus on meaningful work. They understand that every hour shapes the future. This awareness creates urgency without stress. They work calmly but consistently. They do not rush. They do not delay. This balance improves productivity. Productivity builds progress. Thinking big also helps a person stay hopeful during slow progress. Growth is not always visible. Sometimes effort shows no result. Small thinkers give up during this stage. Big thinkers continue. They trust the process. They understand that roots grow before trees appear. This patience separates success from failure. Big thinking keeps faith alive during quiet periods. Over time, thinking big becomes natural. It becomes a habit. The mind automatically looks for solutions instead of excuses. This habit changes life quality. Stress reduces. Confidence increases. Direction becomes clear. Life feels meaningful. The person no longer feels lost. They walk with purpose. The power of thinking big grows stronger each day. It shapes character. It builds inner strength. It prepares a person for bigger responsibilities. This journey is not easy, but it is worth it. Thinking big is not a choice for comfort. It is a choice for growth. This choice slowly transforms ordinary life into a meaningful one. Chapter 3. Thinking big becomes truly powerful when a person learns to control their thoughts. The mind works all the time. It creates ideas. It creates fears. It creates hopes. Many people allow their minds to move without control. This creates confusion. Big thinkers do not allow this. They train their minds slowly. They understand that thoughts shape actions. Actions shape habits. Habits shape life. Kang? This chain starts with thinking. When thinking improves, everything improves. A big thinker pays attention to what they think. They notice negative thoughts. They do not fight them with anger. They replace them with better thoughts. This practice takes time, but it works. Many people think success depends only on talent. This belief is wrong. Big thinking teaches that effort matters more than talent. Talent without effort becomes wasted. Effort with belief creates results. Frey. A big thinker works even when tired. They continue even when results are slow. They do not wait for motivation every day. They create discipline. Discipline keeps them moving. This movement builds momentum. Momentum makes hard tasks easier over time. Thinking big also helps a person build emotional control. Life brings stress. It brings disappointment. Small thinkers react with anger or sadness. Big thinkers pause. They breathe. They think. This pause changes everything. It prevents regret. It saves energy. Emotional control is a sign of inner strength. It allows clear thinking during difficult moments. This clarity helps solve problems faster. Mike? A big thinker understands that emotions are temporary. They do not allow emotions to control decisions. A big thinker also learns the power of focus. Focus means giving full attention to one thing at a time. Many people try to do many things at once. This creates weak results. Big thinking values deep work. It teaches patience. When focus improves, learning improves, skills improve, confidence improves. A focused mind becomes sharp. It notices details. It avoids mistakes. This sharpness leads to excellence. Thinking big also shapes daily habits. Big thinkers wake up with intention. They do not start the day with complaints. They start with purpose. They plan their time. They set small goals. These goals guide their actions. Small goals lead to big results. Consistency is key. Big thinking respects consistency. It understands that success is built through daily effort, not through sudden luck. Another important part of thinking big is self-respect. UI. A big thinker respects their own time. They respect their health. They respect their boundaries. They do not allow negative people to drain their energy. They choose their environment carefully. Environment affects mindset. mindset affects results. This awareness helps a big thinker grow faster. They surround themselves with learning and positivity. Thinking big also improves patience with others. Big thinkers do not judge quickly. They understand that everyone is learning. This understanding creates kindness. Kindness builds strong relationships. Strong relationships create support. Support helps during hard times. Big thinking values teamwork. It knows that growth is easier with cooperation. A big thinker also accepts that setbacks are part of life. They do not feel ashamed of failure. They see it as feedback. Each failure shows what needs improvement. This mindset removes fear. When fear reduces, creativity grows. Creativity brings solutions. Solutions bring progress. Over time, thinking big changes identity. The person no longer sees themselves as weak or limited. They see themselves as a learner, a builder, a growing individual. This identity brings confidence. Confidence brings courage. Courage brings action. Action changes life. The power of thinking big becomes visible slowly. It does not appear overnight, but one day, the person looks back and sees progress. They see strength where fear once lived. They see clarity where confusion once existed. This transformation proves the power of big thinking. It proves that the mind can be trained. It proves that growth is possible for anyone willing to think bigger. Chapter 4. Thinking big becomes real. When a person turns thoughts into action, thoughts alone are not enough. Action gives them life. Many people have good ideas, but only big thinkers act on them. They understand that action removes fear. The first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most important. A big thinker does not wait to feel ready. They start even when unsure. This starting builds confidence. Each small action creates progress. Progress builds belief. Belief strengthens thinking. This cycle continues. A big thinker knows that time is valuable. They do not waste it on useless habits. They choose activities that bring growth. They read. They listen. They practice. They understand that every day is an opportunity. Even slow days have value. Big thinking teaches patience with the process. It reminds a person that growth is not fast, it is steady. This patience reduces stress. It keeps the mind calm. Thinking big also changes how a person handles failure. Failure no longer feels like the end. It feels like a lesson. Big thinkers study their failures. They ask what went wrong. They adjust their approach. This reflection improves results. Over time, mistakes become fewer. Learning becomes deeper. This habit creates mastery. Mastery builds confidence. Another important part of thinking big is consistency. Big thinkers show up every day, even when they feel tired, even when they feel doubtful. They understand that consistency beats intensity. Awe. Small actions repeated daily create strong outcomes. Big thinking respects routine. Routine gives structure. Structure gives stability. Stability allows creativity. Thinking big also improves decision-making. Big thinkers think long-term. They do not chase quick pleasure. They choose what benefits the future. Right. This discipline separates them from others. They delay comfort for growth. This choice builds strength. Over time, discipline becomes easier. It turns into habit. But a big thinker also learns to manage distractions. The world is full of noise. Noise steals focus. Big thinking protects attention. It teaches a person to say no to distractions. Yay! This protection improves productivity. Productivity brings satisfaction. Satisfaction builds motivation. Thinking big also affects physical health. Big thinkers respect their bodies. They understand that energy comes from health. They rest when needed. They eat with care. They move their bodies. Now, this balance supports the mind. A healthy body supports big thinking. Big thinkers also develop resilience. Resilience means standing up after falling. Life brings unexpected challenges. Big thinking prepares the mind for this. It teaches acceptance. Acceptance reduces pain. It allows faster recovery. This resilience becomes inner strength. Thinking big also brings clarity. Clarity helps a person choose the right path. Without clarity, effort is wasted. Big thinkers regularly reflect. They review their goals. They adjust their direction. This reflection keeps them aligned. Over time, thinking big transforms daily life. Simple actions gain meaning. Work feels purposeful. Effort feels rewarding. The person no longer feels stuck. They feel progress. This progress motivates further action. The power of thinking big is shown in action, patience, and consistency. It is not loud. It is quiet strength. It grows daily. It shapes character. Time. It builds a future based on effort and belief. This is how thinking big becomes real. Chapter 5. Thinking big becomes deeper. When a person learns how to face fear, fear is natural. Everyone feels it. Fear appears when change begins. Many people stop when fear arrives. Big thinkers move forward with fear. They understand that fear is a sign of growth. When something matters, fear appears. Big thinking teaches that fear is not an enemy. It is a guide. It shows where growth is possible. A big thinker does not run from fear. They study it. They ask what they are afraid of. This awareness reduces fear's power. Thinking big also changes how a person views comfort. Comfort feels safe, but comfort limits growth. Big thinkers are willing to leave comfort slowly. They challenge themselves. They try new things. They accept discomfort for improvement. This choice builds strength. Strength builds confidence. Confidence makes future challenges easier. Another important lesson in thinking big is patience with results. Many people want fast success. When it does not come, they quit. Big thinkers understand timing. They trust slow progress. They know that real success takes time. This patience that protects motivation. It prevents burnout. It keeps the journey enjoyable. Thinking big also helps a person deal with comparison. Comparing life with others creates sadness. Big thinkers avoid this habit. They focus on their own progress. They celebrate small wins. They understand that every journey is different. This focus creates peace. Peace supports growth. A big thinker also develops gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart positive. Even during difficulty, they find lessons. They appreciate effort. Gratitude balances ambition. It prevents greed. It keeps the mind healthy. Thinking big also improves problem-solving skills. Big thinkers approach problems calmly. They break problems into smaller parts. They solve one part at a time. This method reduces stress. It improves results. Problem-solving becomes a skill. Another powerful part of thinking big is learning from others. Big thinkers listen. They read stories of success and failure. They learn lessons without repeating mistakes. This learning saves time. It builds wisdom. Thinking big also strengthens purpose. Purpose gives meaning to effort. When purpose is clear, discipline becomes easier. Big thinkers connect their goals to values. This connection builds commitment. Commitment keeps them moving forward. A big thinker also practices self-forgiveness. Everyone makes mistakes. Holding guilt slows progress. Big thinkers forgive themselves. They learn and move on. This forgiveness frees energy. Energy fuels growth. Thinking big also affects leadership. Big thinkers lead by example. They do not force others. They inspire through action. This leadership creates respect. Respect creates influence. Over time, thinking big creates emotional maturity. Emotional maturity brings balance. Balance brings clarity. Clarity supports better decisions. This growth improves life quality. The power of thinking big becomes stronger with fear management, patience, gratitude, and learning. These qualities build inner strength. This strength allows a person to rise above limitations. This is the true impact of thinking big. Chapter 6. Thinking big becomes powerful when a person learns how to stay strong during difficult times. Life is not always smooth. Problems come without warning. Many people lose hope when problems appear. Big thinkers respond differently. They accept that difficulty is part of growth. They do not ask why life is hard. They ask what they can learn from it. This question changes everything. It turns pain into purpose. It turns struggle into strength. A big thinker understands that hard times test character. They reveal inner power. Instead of breaking, big thinkers become stronger. Thinking big also teaches emotional endurance. Endurance means staying steady when emotions rise. Sadness, anger, and frustration are natural. Big thinkers feel these emotions, but do not stay trapped in them. They allow emotions to pass. They breathe. They reflect. This calm approach prevents impulsive decisions. It protects long-term goals. Emotional endurance keeps the mind clear during chaos. Another important lesson of thinking big is faith in effort. Big thinkers trust hard work more than luck. They understand that effort always brings some result. Even if success is delayed, learning is gained. This belief keeps them active. It prevents quitting. When effort continues, improvement follows. Improvement builds confidence. Confidence strengthens belief. Thinking big also changes how a person handles pressure. Pressure can break or build. Small thinkers feel crushed by pressure. Big thinkers use pressure as motivation. It sharpens focus. It increases determination. This mindset transforms stress into energy. Energy fuels progress. Cow. A big thinker also learns the importance of reflection. Reflection means reviewing actions. Big thinkers take time to think. They review their choices. They adjust their plans. This habit prevents repeating mistakes. It improves direction. Reflection brings clarity. Thinking big also helps a person develop adaptability. Adaptability means adjusting to change. Life changes often. Big thinkers accept this. They do not resist change. They learn new skills. They adjust strategies. This flexibility keeps them relevant. It allows growth in changing conditions. Another key aspect of thinking big is resilience. Resilience means standing again after failure. Big thinkers fall, but they rise. They do not see falling as weakness. They see rising as strength. Each recovery builds confidence. Each challenge faced builds courage. Thinking big also builds mental toughness. Whack. Mental toughness means staying focused during adversity. Big thinkers train their minds. They replace negative thoughts with constructive ones. This training improves stability. Stability supports long-term success. A big thinker also understands the value of silence. Silence allows thinking. It allows understanding. Big thinkers do not rush reactions. They pause. They choose wise responses. This wisdom improves relationships. It reduces conflict. Thinking big also strengthens gratitude during hardship. Gratitude reminds a person of blessings. It balances pain. It keeps hope alive. Big thinkers practice gratitude even during struggle. This practice protects mental health. Over time, thinking big transforms how a person experiences hardship. Hardship becomes a teacher. Pain becomes a lesson. This transformation creates wisdom. Wisdom improves life choices. The power of thinking big is most visible during hard times. It keeps a person moving forward when others stop. It builds inner strength. It creates unbreakable resilience. This is the strength that defines big thinkers. Chapter 7. Thinking big reaches a new level. when a person begins to influence others in a positive way. Big thinking is not only for personal success, it also affects people around you. When someone thinks big, their actions speak loudly. Others notice the discipline. Others notice the calm attitude. This quiet influence inspires change. Big thinkers do not need to tell others what to do. They lead by example. Their consistency creates trust. Trust builds respect. Respect creates influence. Thinking big also improves communication with others. Big thinkers listen more than they speak. They respect different opinions. They do not argue to prove themselves right. They discuss to learn. This behavior builds strong relationships. Strong relationships create support. Support helps during difficult times. Big thinkers understand that no one succeeds alone. Cooperation makes the journey easier. Another important part of thinking big is teaching through kindness. Big thinkers treat others with patience. They understand that everyone is learning. They do not judge quickly. This kindness creates a positive environment. A positive environment supports growth. People feel safe to try. They feel safe to improve. Big thinkers create spaces where learning is welcomed. Thinking big also develops leadership qualities. Leadership is not about power. It is about responsibility. Big thinkers take responsibility for their actions. They admit mistakes. This honesty builds credibility. Credibility strengthens leadership. People follow those they trust. Big thinkers earn trust through integrity. A big thinker also understands the power of encouragement. Encouraging words lift others. Big thinkers choose words carefully. They avoid negativity. They support effort. Encouragement creates confidence. Confidence helps others perform better. Big thinkers multiply success by helping others grow. Thinking big also teaches patience with people. Not everyone moves at the same speed. Big thinkers accept this. They do not force change. They allow growth naturally. This patience creates harmony. Harmony improves teamwork. Teamwork creates bigger results. Another key lesson in thinking big is service. Service means helping without expecting return. Big thinkers serve because it gives meaning. Helping others brings fulfillment. Fulfillment strengthens purpose. Purpose drives effort. Big thinkers find joy in contribution. Thinking big also builds empathy. Empathy means understanding others' feelings. Big thinkers listen deeply. They try to understand before responding. This understanding reduces conflict. It strengthens bonds. Strong bonds create unity. A big thinker also remains humble. Success does not change their behavior. They stay grounded. They remember their journey. Humility keeps the heart open. It keeps learning alive. Learning keeps growth continuous. Thinking big also creates a vision larger than self. Big thinkers think about impact. They ask how their actions affect others. This awareness creates responsibility. Responsibility improves decision-making. Decisions become meaningful. Over time, thinking big shapes character. Character becomes visible in daily actions. People respect consistency. Big thinkers maintain values even under pressure. This integrity creates long-term success. The power of thinking big grows when it is shared. King. When one person thinks big, others learn to do the same. This creates a chain of growth. Growth spreads. Communities improve. Lives change. Thinking big is not only about personal achievement. It is about positive influence. It is about building others while building yourself. This is the highest form of big thinking. Chapter 8. Thinking big becomes a lifelong habit when a person fully understands its true meaning. It is not only about success, it is about growth. It is about becoming better every day. Big thinkers accept that life will always have challenges. K. They do not wait for a perfect time. They work with what they have. They trust themselves. This trust is built through effort. Effort creates experience. Experience creates wisdom. Wisdom guides future decisions. Thinking big also teaches balance. Big thinkers work hard, but they also rest. They understand that rest protects energy. Without rest, the mind becomes tired. A tired mind cannot think clearly. Big thinkers respect their limits. They recharge when needed. This balance allows long-term progress. Another important lesson of thinking big is reflection on purpose. Big thinkers often ask why they do what they do. This question keeps them aligned. It prevents empty effort. Purpose gives meaning to action. When purpose is clear, motivation stays strong. Big thinkers connect their goals to values. Values guide behavior. Behavior shapes life. Thinking big also creates inner peace. Inner peace comes from clarity. Clarity comes from self-awareness. Big thinkers know themselves well. They know their strengths. They know their weaknesses. They accept both. This acceptance removes inner conflict. It allows focus on improvement instead of self-criticism. A big thinker also understands the power of gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart calm. It reminds a person of progress. Even small progress matters. Big thinkers celebrate effort. This celebration builds positivity. Positivity fuels consistency. Consistency creates results. Thinking big also teaches letting go. Letting go of fear, letting go of regret. Holding on to past mistakes creates pain. Big thinkers learn from the past but do not live in it. They focus on the present. But the present is where action happens. Action shapes the future. A big thinker also remains flexible. Life changes. Plans change. Thinkers adjust. They do not feel defeated by change. They adapt. Adaptation is strength. It keeps growth alive. Thinking big also builds legacy. Legacy means impact that lasts. Big thinkers think beyond their lifetime. They invest in learning. They invest in people. This investment creates lasting value. Value continues even when they are gone. A big thinker also practices gratitude toward others. They appreciate support. They acknowledge effort. This appreciation builds strong bonds. Strong bonds support success. Over time, thinking big becomes identity. It shapes how a person lives, how they speak, how they act. This identity brings confidence. Confidence brings courage. Courage brings action. Action creates a meaningful life. The power of thinking big is available to everyone. It does not depend on age, background, or status. It depends on choice. A choice to believe, a choice to grow, a choice to keep moving forward. Thinking big transforms ordinary life into a purposeful journey. This journey brings fulfillment. It brings peace. It brings strength. This is the true power of thinking big,